stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, item number 3 is a review of the agenda. Item number 4 is the update on the CTE building presented by Project Manager Poland. Then we have an action item for our consent agenda. Item 6 for the proposal of primary school roof repairs. Item number 7 is time for citizens' comments. Item 8 is an action item to approve or deny the Payette primary roof repairs. Item number 9 is policies and chairman comments. We do have several, which will be on the first reading. After that, we have the superintendent report. Item 11 is the adjournment of our regular board meeting. Item 12 is the executive session. Item 13 is an adjournment of the executive session. Item 14 is any action pertaining to the executive session. And item 15 is adjournment. Go back to the top for item of the consent agenda, which has the approval of board minutes, bills, and also the 25-26 staff handbook and minor adjustments.
Really?
Huh?
You skipped 4.
The approval of the district.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I was want to get on with business, but I guess it's all to go now. Sorry, guys.
Oh,
I skipped you, even though I read you.
that's okay.
Tried to just shut you.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm trying to remember the last place we left off last month, but it doesn't really matter because everything's got to be done by Monday evening. So with that being said, we are very, very happy with the progress that has been made in these past about a month. We've had crews there literally 7 days a week, whether it's local or out of town crews working there around the clock. And even with last minute details that we've added, there's just some cosmetic things that have come up that we wanted to remedy before the grand opening. Even with those little last minute details and stuff like that, we're still pleasantly happy with the progress, and come Monday evening, it's going to be a party there. Some notable things that are going on right now. The construction, I guess we'll start back. The construction management department is pretty much 95% done. We have rubber baseboard molding, like you see in here, to go into the to go into the office and the storage room. And other than that, it's just touch-up paint, and that is 100% done. Obviously, there's little knick-knacky things like setting up tables and stuff like that, but your guys' maintenance crew and custodians have been doing that today. And we'll continue to do that for the rest of the week. So there's just a couple of random things like that. Obviously, Jeremy, who's going to be the teacher in that department, I'm sure he'll want to come over and kind of move things, to make his classroom his own. So I'm not too concerned about that not being 100% set up, right now. We also still have a week until the grand opening. Moving on to the welding shop. Starting tomorrow and Wednesday, we're going to start bringing in equipment because everything's going to be done. All the welding booths are installed, painted, all the ductwork to them, all the electrical to them is done. The floor's been ground, sealed. Rubber baseboard molding needs to go into the office and the grinding room, and then that whole entire area is ready to be set up. Lockers came in today, they got installed, and now it's just moving in equipment, machinery, stuff like that. Moving on to the mechanic shop, that is all done. There's actually no rubber molding that goes with that. The mechanic teacher starting Wednesday, I believe, is going to start bringing in toolboxes. There's a couple little knick-knack things. I shouldn't say it's completely done. We're waiting for one mop basin / drinking fountain area to go in, and the plumbers will be there. Well, they've been there, but they're going to be doing that the remaining of the week. And then that whole entire room is done. The biggest time crunch and obviously the biggest headache has been the culinary arts department, as well as the teacher's lounge, the classrooms, the hallways, the new entranceway, and stuff like that. The reason being for that is flooring. It's all done now, but there's a curing process to that. So, for example, like today, your guys' staff went over there and wax buffed. I think I sealed it maybe. But in retrospect, that has to cure for a day. So, like the electricians had the lights to hang today, but we have to give it 24 hours. So, besides that dead void of time, we're still crushing it. Everyone that's been a part of this has absolutely crushed it. It's absolutely wild. We have all the equipment to go into it are in storage containers. We've hired some help to assemble all of that, and so he's been doing that all day today, assembling stainless steel tables, the ice machine, the stove, like the double stacked washer machine, all of these types of things. So tomorrow we're going to start moving that into the culinary arts department, and then that way subs can start taking equipment and installing it one at a time. our base has been installed all throughout the classrooms, things like that, and so that whole entire area is done. DNA doors was there, they're still there right now, putting on all the doorknobs, switches, all that stuff. They do all the mirrors, the handicap bars in the bathrooms, and some of the signage. They're doing that right now, but I promised my dad I wouldn't swear, but like, holy crap, I didn't think that this was actually, we stayed optimistic, but on projects like this, so many things happen constantly. And there's even things even now that it's like, we were supposed to get 2 sinks with our equipment, and we only got 1. So between Glenn and Shelby, the office staff, and us, we had to figure out how to get a second one here. And so we rectified that, driving a couple miles here and there to get it. But little things always come up. And the fact that every single person has adapted, every single person has had the same mentality and philosophy of we're opening this day for a grand opening for the community, it's pretty crazy. But
The worst
be
thing
here
is
on
we-
18th.
The worst thing is we don't have a sink. Gosh.
Yeah, and I think there will be, with any project, I think it will be inevitable that after the grand opening, there might be little knick-knacky things we see that, oh, that needs to be touched up with paint. Or, you know, we don't actually like that, so let's maybe modify it on Christmas break. But if that's our worst issues to have, I think it's a home run. So, any questions?
It's a big deal, very big.
Horseshoes at parking lots in the front too.
Oh yeah, I guess I can go to the parking lot. Today was, all the teachers were at, I don't want to call it teachers in service, but there was
Welcome back.
a welcome back thing. So, and the whole entire back parking lot was filled and people were parking properly. And their suspensions on their vehicles were probably a little
Safely.
happier than,
Safely.
yeah, exactly. And
That's so funny.
we're just waiting to install lights for those as well as the front parking lots. And the horseshoe got paid today, looks really well. They're going to start painting and striping tomorrow. You can't do it the same day with asphalt, just with heat temperatures and stuff like that. So they'll be there tomorrow. And we just have a couple little knick-knack things like parking stops, like the cement ones you see. We're going in a couple areas, but and then Urco laid down fabric all around the back parking lot that'll be along the sidewalk to the CT building because rock is going all throughout that, and that was
It's not just exposed dirt there.
yeah. So there'll be a little bit of landscaping in the back, and then curbing throughout the entire back parking lot, front parking lot, and all that stuff will go in Thursday, and then your guys' wrought iron fence along Highway 95 will all suit.
Replacing the chain fence, just like a 4-foot.
Yeah.
What a difference it makes with ours 6-foot chain.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't look like a prison so much anymore. So. And then that and a little bit of lighting will go a long way. But that's,
Lights should go in late this week or early next week.
yeah. I know they had an issue
Or
with,
early next week.
I know they had an issue with delivery dates and stuff like that. But
A bunch of schools do the same thing at the same time.
that's the biggest thing we ran into was every school must have gotten just a lump sum of money because any sub you talk to, it's like, oh, we're doing this exact same thing, not CT building wise, but lighting, a lot of it's a fire alarm, fire suppression systems, updating that type of stuff. Literally from Boise to La Grande, every school is doing this stuff, and so
It's how far behind we were.
maybe that's true.
That's it.
So it's crazy that subs are talking about this, but there is this little silver lining. I'm not going to name school districts or schools, but DNA Doors, the guy that's installing all of our hardware, trim right now, he was showing us pictures of a couple other schools that they are trimming out and stuff like that. And one of them was they actually have students in classrooms today, and they are still pulling wire for classrooms. Like he shows a picture, kids are in hallways, in lockers, and they have the big wire spools that they're pulling wire to trim out, stuff like that. So that really makes us feel good. So none of that's gonna be happening. But that's about it.
All right, we'll see you in 6 days.
Yeah, we'll see you in 6 days. It's gonna be the fastest 6 days ever. Oh my gosh. So, all right, we're out of here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Terry. On to number 5. All right, consent agenda. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Properly moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion passes unanimously. Item number 6 is a proposal for the primary school roof repairs presented by Dr. Crum.
You just need to, from any vantage point around the building, look at the building to see that the coating on the roof has worn what that means is the coating's there to protect the metal, so the metal doesn't rust and you don't develop holes. It's well overdue for needing to be recoated. We don't have to re-roof it, but we do need to recoat it. The metal's not gone, but it's, if we let it go for another year or so, it could be, you could start to have major problems where you would then need to replace some of that. The one thing that I wanted to make sure the board's on board with is, I wanted to, we were looking at different colors. White seemed a little stark. I mean, it would be really white. That's a lot of white for it, but there's so much roof you see from below the way that the building's structured. We were looking at kind of a Payette red, like the deeper, like you see on the crow's nest, like the same color of red, that Payette red. Doing the roof that color. We have the option to put color in there. It's a little bit of an upcharge, but not much. To do that, as you see in the bill, you see where it's just white or where you got the color. But with the color, like I said, we could do I think the red would go, there's already red lettering, there's red accents on the building. I think it would go right. And we got our roofs, we got our black gable over the high school and red roof here, you got your school colors. But anyways, I think that would look sharp, but I want to make sure that the board agrees with painting it red, because that's not a unilateral decision.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's
I know that on the rules, it's on there, it says the 10-year NDO warranty custom color.
Yeah,
What is NDO?
that is a great question.
Something about labor, but I'm just curious, because
I'm not sure what it is.
the only concern that I have of the red, which I like the color, is just any sort of fading kind of what we've had. And I don't think there's any way to get around it, I think everything's gonna fade to some.
A red
Fading other colors.
It could oxidize.
Right.
It could.
But it doesn't degrade the
No.
actual coating.
No.
They have paints now, and according to the company, the stuff they make nowadays is less susceptible to oxidation than some of the coatings they used to use before.
Is
Yeah.
that what we use in the high school?
What's that?
Similar to what we use in the high school?
It is similar to what, yeah. Actually, the high school roof has a membrane coating, not a metal roof, so it doesn't need, we did paint some of the outbuildings.
Yeah.
The metal outbuildings,
Yeah,
yes,
barn.
we did a coating there.
It's fabulous.
Yeah. black.
Is it the color of the letters you replace pretty much?
It's close to
That's
that,
what-
yeah. Yeah, that kind of, it's like a deeper red. If you think of a crow's nest, it's really close to that red color.
NDL is not really that exciting. It's
Maybe
no
lower.
dollar.
What's that?
It is no dollar limit. It's not
Oh,
like-
no dollar.
Okay. Anyway, I'm not good.
I'm fine with it.
Did everybody see on in our paperwork here? So Dr. Croft, your proposals with the 10-year warranty?
Yes, yes.
Seems like a lot of money just for an extra 10 years.
How much would a whole new roof cost?
A metal roof would probably be 3 times that,
How many?
3 times that.
Over with as many square feet,
Yeah.
over $1 million, maybe.
We
yeah,
thought we were
so
looking at
well,
that a few years ago.
What's that?
We thought we were looking at a brand new roof
Oh,
a few
wow.
years ago, and suddenly there was paint options.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's coating, but yeah, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hadn't been explored.
When do they plan on being able to get that done? Will it be before winter?
one of the best times to do it is September,
Yeah.
because it doesn't do really great in the super hot days, and they can apply it on the cooler days. So September would be the target.
No issues with kids walking underneath it as they're spraying or cleaning?
No,
Right, it'd be some sort of.
they roll on, it's a rolled on product, when they do the primer coat. And then, I believe they spray on, they do spray on the coating of the primer that's rolled on. I mean, they can work around our schedules like we did at the high school. We can make sure that when they're spraying, it's a Friday, those kind of things. We would work with them and make sure that kids are not on the playground and they're up on the roof spraying. So that would not be a good fit.
Somebody walking underneath something is getting painted.
Or just breathing, the fumes or.
Okay. I like it. Any other questions from Dr. Croft? Item number 7 is time for citizens' comments. Is someone see any? Excellent. All right. action item to approve or deny the Payette primary roof repairs as presented by Dr. Croft.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Rick.
I'm going to approve the Payette Primary School roof repair proposal as presented by Dr.
Properly moved and seconded to approve the proposal for the Payette primary roof as presented by Dr. Croft. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion passes unanimously. Item number 9 is some policies and chairman's comments. We'll go through these, I'm trying a little bit more detail. However, these came to us because ISBA has updated their, or submitted their recommendations for policy updates
Due to legislation.
due to legislation. So the ones that are enforced are the ones that are not optional. These are the requirements to make sure that our policies are consistent with what the legislation is updated. So, is there 3 of them, I believe?
Yeah.
Yes. Dr. Croft, you're gonna explain or add any more to those that are on here?
Some of it is, I mean, I don't think anything that I would say would be a big change to how we conduct business. One of them was the citizen comments. And it's funny because the legislation has been back and forth on this one issue. The policy previously had been that comments, citizen comments had to be pertaining to one of the agenda items. That you could have citizens come in if they weren't on the agenda, right? The new legislation says that it can be about anything that's appropriate, I mean, anything that's pertinent to schools. So that's one of the things that was an update for this latest legislation.
And so that one isn't technically on here because
That's not on top.
we addressed that before and again, the back and forth either way is fine, but at this point, it is not on here and we're still at the, must be on the agenda. But some of the other ones were like the open enrollment.
And the sex education.
Yeah. Oh, some of these.
Oh, the opt-in, so the state's going to an opt-in versus an opt-out policy. That they find that there's kids that parents aren't sure, the last minute, they're calling the office, or, you know, trying to not opt out. And so they're saying everyone in the room needs to have an opted-in parent approval to go over some of the things that are more sensitive topics. So, yeah, rather than, like I said, the opposite was you had a small number that you'd say who doesn't want to be here. Now they're saying everyone here needs to come with an opt-in form. Yeah, I actually, and I like that policy. I think that clears it up, communicates better to parents than an opt-in.
Yep. So all of these policies before us again are just on a first read, so we can read these in front of us as well.
Are you going to do a second?
Yes. There's no other.
Any other questions?
Again, all these are the reports of the ones that came as a required change from the ISBA.
Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
Oh, I move that we move the policies to a second read. Policy number, I'm sorry, I need to read the policies as well.
Yeah.
2320. 2320-P1, 2320-F1, and do you want to go and get the have to do another open enrollment one, which is policy 3010 and 3010-P1.
For a second. And properly moved and seconded to move these policies to a second reading. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion passes unanimously. On to item number C, which is chairman's comments. The only one that I do have is ISBA. We are currently in the region 8 of ISBA, and we have been honored with the ability to host a meeting for region 8 on October 7th here at Payette. So as soon as I get some time, I'll let everybody know that encourage everybody to come if you can. Last one was in Kirkland a while back, and it's just a good time for us to get together with the rest of our districts in our region 8. But they just asked if they could do it at any good actual time yet, so October 7th for that on my calendar. And that's what I got for that.
We'll get it, we'll get it.
Yeah, I mean, usually ISBA will send it out to everybody, but just as a heads up, so we will know. All right. Item number 10 for the superintendent report, Dr. Croft.
I'm gonna have Jason Reese go first. And one of the things I wanted him to explain to the board are, new bus software, and kind of we have some changes and updates that are going into effect this year. So I just wanted to give you a quick overview of some of those things.
Good evening. In May, we started our new contract with BusRight. We stopped our contract with Easy Routing. And so we had a 90-day onboarding process with them, transferred all of the students' information over from the Infinite Campus into BusRight, and over the summer, we piloted that program with our summer school. So we had the students, we created the routes with BusRight. It's a new tech company. It started, and they work remote all over the United States. They have a really forward look on the way they do things and how they can fix the problems fast. They have great tech support, engineers, and so I think they're going to be a great partner to work with. So over the summer, we started the parent app, which if you have a child here, you should download the parent app. That's where it houses the routes and the information in the routes. So the days of not knowing where the kids are hopefully will be gone. And so all of these students in the district will have a badge that looks like this. They're going to have their name underneath it, no pictures, no ID numbers, except this number on the back, and this is used to put into the system so we can assign this card to that student. If they lose the card, doesn't really matter. Maybe the student can try and use it to get on the bus, possibly. But when they get on the bus and it's not them, the driver will be able to see. Once you get to the top of the stairs, they're going to tap a scanner that looks like this. So, just tap it right on there. Yeah, so they'll tap it, it will make a sound, it will turn green. The driver will know that their name's there, greet them, and then they'll go sit down.
Does a picture come up of the child?
No,
None of us, okay.
no. So before the route, when the route starts in the morning or afternoon, whenever that route starts, the parents, if they sign up for the notifications, will receive notification in the parent app that the route has started. About 5 minutes before the bus arrives at the stop, they'll say your student stop is 5 stops away, which is about 5 minutes away. Gives them to go outside and wait and get on the bus. So once they get on top of the stairs and they badge on, you receive another notification they're on the bus. When they get to the school, they'll do the same thing. So I think it's going to be pretty seamless when we start the school year. We have 242 people, parents, that have downloaded the app so far. So we've had great news from parents this summer. They loved it. From parents that were really worried in the past, they said it's going to be a game changer for us. So it's easy to make the routes, it's easy to change things, easy to add. Drivers don't show up. Brand new sub drivers in the past would have to have a paper, look at it, practice a route. It's basically jump in turn by turn, and you just follow instructions.
Is there a backup plan for when kids lose or don't have their card?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know. if
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Yeah, so if they get up there and they're on the wrong bus, it's gonna flash red, and the driver will say, you're on the wrong bus, but we can get you the right place. So they're not gonna kick anybody off. Another thing, this doesn't track anybody. So this is useless on the ground if anybody finds it. It doesn't track. The only thing it does, it talks to that scanner and it sends a notification. So that's the only thing that will do. If they don't have, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what if they don't?
If they don't have their badge, the driver can quickly tap their name, find them, say toggle them on, okay, you're on the bus. We're also going to use them for trips, sports trips. I was always would be really worried about teens leaving, going on the interstate. That's the most dangerous time for our students to be out. How many people do we have on the bus? Do the coaches have the right rosters? Do we know who went home with their parents and coming back? So they're going to take those on every trip out of town. We'll create the routes, parents can receive notifications, they'll have to have this, so accountability is gonna be huge.
Can they log on and see where the bus is, or just?
Only for their student,
Yeah, correct.
Yes.
They can do that, they say it's on the other side of town, so
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Yep.
And before the notification.
yeah, so if they're gonna go
Okay.
pick them up at the high school, and they're like, where is this bus, what's taking so long? Oh, it's in Caldwell, it's almost there.
Okay,
Um,
okay, cool.
If they lose the badge, the secretaries will have the ability to get stacked cars, we get them for free. from bus ride. They just assign a number back to the student. They can print a label, they can write a Sharpie on it, put their name wherever they need. It's got the breakaway, so we have the lanyard like that. Each school's gonna be different, some might wear them. Primary school kids in other districts have said they just tied it to their backpack, where it just hangs there. We don't wanna have any, there's already hazards anyways with the backpacks if you get caught on something. But that's probably the best way for the primary kids not to lose them. High school might be keeping them on the back of their phone in their case. Middle school might be wearing them, so it will be up to the administrators how they will do that. But I think it's a great step moving forward, and it's going to be the first couple of weeks, we have people calling in all the time, adding all these routes, so it's going to probably take a week or two to get everybody added and confirmed and get the way we want it, but after that, it'll just be on cruise control.
And as you add people, it automatically starts to modify your routes, right? Like in the new system we have.
No, so we'll just have to change it. So if we
Go
see
and manually set it.
manually change it, but it's as easy as just taking the, grabbing it and pulling it over, moving it, dropping, moving kids. There's a kid over here, a student who it doesn't have a route, grab him and put him on a route. So, very easy to make. Tomorrow we're gonna take our drivers and we're gonna drive around on a demo route, and there's gonna be some students who not supposed to be on the bus, they're getting off the wrong stop, so we're working through all these different scenarios of what's gonna happen probably. Because technology for some drivers could be, it's a learning curve, but I think we'll get there. Any other questions? Thank you.
Somewhere.
Well, yeah, sports, and then from back to sport, I remember that.
Hello. 3 words at the primary school: paint, paint, paint. They have painted the cafeteria, the gymnasium. It's nice and fresh. It's clean. It looks great. We've also painted the big 3D pirate P. So when you walk into the building, it's right behind the secretaries. One of the first things you see, it's very powerful. It was commissioned by a 2022 Payette graduate who also happened to be in Payette all 12 years of her schooling. She also went ahead and painted some murals in our staff room, which is really awesome. Also some pictures on Facebook, so you can check that out there. One of the goals that we have for September in primary school is to get familiar with the new state reading test. And it's called the IRI. I'm sure you've heard of it before. They're just moving towards a new platform. So we're going to work on getting the kids and the staff familiar with that. Any questions?
Ready for the first day?
Yep, we're ready.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It was a fast, quick summer, wasn't it?
Was it summer or?
Yeah, it's already on, here we go.
So-
A couple highlights from my board report, if I could. One, our playground equipment's installed and ready to be climbed on, jumped on, not falling off from, just you're gonna enjoy it. But we do have about that much fall stuff, wood chips, I believe, so we should be okay. So that's gonna be interesting coming on next week, so it should be fun. The next thing, sorry?
We didn't have any of that stuff. It's dirt.
The next thing I'd like to discuss is, over the summer, we went to Boise for some PBIS training. And if you remember, PBIS stands for Positive Behavioral Interventions and Supports. We went to Tier 3. Now, Tier 3, if you remember, you're supposed to have 1 to 5% of your students in Tier 3. That means that's your students that need some real attention with their behavior. So I want to use that, but I want to talk about what we're going to concentrate on this year. We're going to concentrate on Tier 1 and Tier 2, so we don't get to Tier 3. We're going to concentrate on positive behaviors. In reference to this, we're going to start a new Student of the Month program that will parallel and run right beside our SHIP awards. So what that will do, when you see your picture up on the wall and that word gets out, everybody's going to want to be a a monthly award winner. Now with that's going to come free pizza for those monthly award winners, and they get to eat lunch with Sean and I up on the stage. I don't know how big of a deal that's going to be, but still, it's pizza. We also, in September, 15th September to be exact, we're going to start our after-school program again from the 21st Century grant. Mrs. Galloway has told me that already has students signed up, but we'll start 15 September. Again, that's for 5th grade. STEM activities, after-school homework help, things of that nature. And second, on September the 15th, we're going to have an assembly entitled Around the World Yo-Yo Entertainment. Now, what this guy does, this guy's out of Washington State, and he's talked to over 5,000 students and 500, 600 different schools. And what he does, he uses a yo-yo to teach technology, stuff about technology, geography, math, PE, and science. So again, we'll have 2 assemblies that day, one for 5 and 6, and one for 7 and 8. Should be a great time. If you're free, come by. I don't know what time it is, 8 o'clock. I think it's 8 o'clock, or I'll get back with you on that. But please come by if you'd like to watch the assembly. And last but not least, our goals, like I briefed this morning, our number 1 goal is to increase our ISAT math and ELA scores. Now, I'm going to wait till I meet my leadership team for the first time, and we'll talk about the increase that we want to see from last year. We definitely don't want to go backwards, so we'll see about that. And then number three for me. Second thing about the goal, we're going to start a 2 public relations teams. One for 5 and 6, one for 7 and 8. And what these teams will do, they will assist the administrators in capturing and relaying students, what's going on in our schools, out to parents. Because our number 3 goal is to increase our stakeholder communication. Subject to your questions, that's all I have to see.
Amen to that last one.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Well, hallelujah.
How are you guys doing this evening? So a couple really positive things. I mean, just to piggyback, we've said it 1,000 times. The parking lot, the building, everything just looks so amazing. This last weekend, they painted the numbers for our students to park in, and so I got to drive back there, it's just completely different. I told Dr. Croft this morning, I was like, we better be putting some speed bumps back there because it's nice enough that our kids are going to want to drive really quick, and it's beautiful all around. So we're really appreciative of that. It's awesome. Yeah, we're getting the speed bumps and all sorts of stuff. So it's just really nice.
Way too much straight road to not have speed bumps.
Yeah. It's really
It
good.
turned into a drag track.
Yeah. And that's just one avenue of it. There's the parking lot, the horseshoe, the weight room that they're working on right now. The weight room it's literally going to be the best weight room around our area within the church. I mean, even bigger than some of the 6A schools, and it's nice with brand new equipment. So, our kids are really going to invest in what we're doing for that.
Did we end up putting the 2 classrooms out there as well?
No, we're just going to have the one, it's going to be a big weight room.
Got it.
The classrooms were going to be too small after.
If you look at the space,
Yeah.
either you can do a great weight room or you can do some nice classrooms, but trying to combine both would make for a subpar weight room and really small classrooms, and so then you're getting the worst of it. We looked at the whole space and said, and we kind of went diagrammed how we do it. We're also we're totally ripped out one of the bathrooms and we're remodeling it, we're adding another one, so there's going to be 2 bathrooms right off that big room. And that it's a small remodel project actually, because the bathroom's right there, so they were able to just bring the plumbing. Oh, I'm oversimplifying, but I mean, there was some trenching through concrete, but no, I mean, given the scope of the project, it's relatively small.
So what's in Tyson's old space?
That's the
That's
gym.
Classrooms?
Yeah, it's the old welding room.
No. They're making the whole shop into a weight room.
His old shop?
Yes.
That's what I thought, okay.
Yeah, the classroom's still
So
there.
what's going on in the building where the
The
weight
ag
room
teacher is
was?
going to be teaching in
They
that
were
whole
painting
classroom.
there tonight, what's going on back,
And
where the weight room was?
The old weight room will be more of a storage and a hitting facility for our teams that need it.
And wrestling's going to be.
Yeah, and our wrestling room is still out. Yeah, good question. one really big highlight for this summer, Sammy Parsons, our ASB president, was awarded the IHSAA Interscholastic Star Scholarship for our classification. So she got a scholarship of $1,000, and they're also going to give the school $500 that she needs to decide will go to for athletics. It's a huge scholarship. Tons of kids apply. It's intensive. She has to interview for it, and it's just really neat that she won it. Sammy is invested in. I couldn't imagine being a high school kid and being invested as much as Sammy is invested in. She does everything for us. So it was really neat to see her win. She's very well deserved for it. She also sits on the IHSAA Student Advisory Council, so she goes there. Cody, what is it, like once a month that she's going out there?
Yeah, almost, just about.
Yeah, so she's a rock star. Fantastic. Our goals moving forward, really just want to have a smooth transition as we open up 2 buildings and mitigate whatever that might look like that we haven't possibly thought of, because there's going to be things that come up that we haven't thought of that we'd like to mitigate, communication pieces, things like that when you're having students and teachers in 2 different buildings. So that I really want to make sure we have a smooth transition. And then our other goal is just to continue to retain our attendance percentage. That's a big deal for us as we move forward. So, any questions?
One thing on that is that today I walked before, but I did an official time walk to see from the back of the school coming out into that common area between the dome and the building. Like I'm going to the CTE building, I walked, and I try to walk at a student pace if they're looking at their phone. Because there's a certain pace high schoolers walk when they're checking their phone. So I slowed down and walked it. I got there to the far end, the culinary arts, which would be the far end from the high school, in under 3 minutes, right under 3 minutes. So we've added a 3-minute buffer to those classes, so that should be, in addition to the actual break, that should be more than enough time for all the kids to get there.
And I think it also bodes well, kudos to the back parking lot, because previously, even just having our kids walk from the dome to the weight room was a really big chore because of the potholes, the ice, all that stuff. That parking lot now allows for our students to egress very safely to get back and forth within that 3 to 4 minute time period to go to their classes.
The
Obstacle course.
Yeah, no, it's.
crosswalks are going up on 12 this week, and now the sidewalk just got finished on the last stretch. So you have once you get onto that back road, it's a sidewalk all the way to the right across the road, and then all the way to the CT building. So.
Thank you guys.
Glenn, I was asked to have you put a mailbox at the CTE center if you're going to get mail there.
Okay.
So, probably a large one. Somewhere they can access off probably 95 or something.
Is the weight room remodel, what's this timeframe to be done?
That's a good question. I would think they're just finishing on the interior stuff. I would think probably September.
I'd say a few weeks.
We have,
I was just curious, I would figure if we're over there, we can check it out next week, but if
Yeah.
like in a couple.
the nice thing is with that one is we have some time because we have the existing one, so, we can take our time.
The walls have been blocked off. We have some of the electric's been done. The bathrooms are, going through a few weeks, I assume. I mean, just guesstimating, and then painting. So I'd say month-ish.
Did you take over the tool room, or did you go down the other wall?
The tool room is now the bathrooms and the drinking fountain area, and then there was another little storage room that was on the back side of the classroom
Yeah.
that is now an office for the staff. Yeah.
They've had to frame that out so that our kids can't go right into that ladder to get into our
Yeah.
infrastructure.
Yeah.
Electrical and, HVAC and all that. I mean, because they would.
Yeah.
If they could, some would. So they framed all that off. We're gonna have a door that's locked, so they'll only be able from that hallway to access the bathrooms.
We'll have to have another party. Well, why not?
Okay. So for Payette Academy, we were able to retain all of our teachers, except for the one that retired. And so we replaced her with two teachers for Middleton that have
just a wealth of experience being middle school teachers, but also academy middle school teachers. So that's gonna come over and really help shape up like that side so that we can focus a lot more on our new teachers that are just in their second year of teaching on the high school side. So we've been able to mentor them up with each other and get them working together. We have 12 students from the academy that are going to be coming over every day for the CTE, whether it's CNA or auto tech or construction. The high school hallway has been freshly repainted for the most part. We're working on getting the rest of the building painted sometime this fall or winter. We have a strong, proud, dedicated team in place at the academy that is all there just for student growth and student success. And they're gonna start scheduling for carpet to be replaced in our building to begin in September. So we're excited about that. Each room will have to be tented, so it's kind of a big project. Our goal this year for our whole building is engagement. Getting our students engaged in classes for the duration of the class and making them feel like it's so interesting they want to be there, which is gonna key into our next goal, which is to increase from the 90% attendance we had last year to a 92% attendance rate this year. And then we had an 88% graduation rate out of our building last year, and I'd like to see that be at 90% or higher this year. Any questions?
Hi, everybody. I'm just super excited because for the first time since I took over, I was not searching for a SPED teacher to use before school started or SPED personnel staff. And Dr. Croft sent me this little picture from an Indian school district that paras are urgently needed. And I circled it. We are 100% retention this year. And so I think that goes to bode well to the quality and just how awesome our people are. And we all came back last week, and my teachers dug in hard and started going through their cases. We have a huge calendar on the wall that we've mapped out all of the eligibilities for the year, and we are just ready to go and excited about this new year. We have a full-time school psych with us, which is it's new for me, and we have our occupational therapist is going to be with us 1 day a week, and that's huge because he can provide more in-depth service than a Cody could, and things are going this way for us, and I believe our students, we're just going to start graduating them from IEPs, and pretty soon you won't even need me, and that's kind of I was really involved with community outreach this summer and working with Sarah Gross from Insight Matters. She started the One P Kid Succeeds program, and we've started our first project is a vaping project, and we've rolled it out at registration and open houses. So that's a really cool thing. And then we're also working with Amy and the academy, and we're going to do a Strengthening Families Quality program. So lots of great things happening in my world. In the other part of my world, Mayor Lopez would like to thank you for the Safe Schools SRO grant. That was huge and helped our city budget, which we are having a hearing for next Monday at 5:30. So thank you also for changing our tour of the CTE building so we can get there and still have the budget free. Thank you.
All right, summer is quickly coming to an end. Summer school programs have ended. We had some extremely high impact learning experiences out of our learners. It was our first year away from a credit recovery style program and into an enrichment style program. We'd set some pretty rigorous goals for ourselves. We wound up with an average attendance of 72%. Our goal we were shooting for was 80, so we were a little lower than that, but for summer school programs, 72% is actually a really good average. So we are proud of that number. We had 100% of our learners who attended 80% of the time or more, showed significant pre and post test growth in just 8 instructional days per session. So they focused on math for one session and ELA for another session. So the growth that we saw there was huge. Students were in hands-on, project-based learning type activities, so they were making and using the content knowledge as they were learning, which really led to their feedback. 77% of our learners said that the learning lab was worthwhile and helped them to grow, and 73% had scored proficient or higher on their final projects, and 71% of those reported a more positive disposition towards learning and increased confidence in their abilities with the content that they were learning this summer. So we were very proud of the work that our summer school teams did. Those were led by Chelsea Gorsuch and Brooke Webb and as the administrators, with some super awesome district employees who also not only took on the endeavor of teaching summer school for our students, but they were also supporting TFA core members in learning to become teachers as well. So kind of twofold project for our Payette staff, who knocked it out of the park with our summer programs. It was really fun to see the projects at their final showcase and listen to the kids talk about what they've learned and what they've done. We had snow cone pop-up shops. There was a taco truck pop-up shop. Like, our kids were building business endeavors within their classes, identifying what phone plans were the most economical and resourceful for themselves, and just really putting that learning to use in practical and real life ways, which was really fun. As far as our upcoming school year, set some pretty rigorous goals again for the curriculum and instruction department, aiming to increase literacy and math growth, again, increase our ADA to 95% or higher across the district, and then overall increase stakeholder engagement, that communication piece, by 15%, and we'll send more of that information to you all as we get further into that work. But really for September, we're going to launch our data-driven instructional framework, getting our baseline assessments done by the end of August so that we can really dive into what learners need, what supports, and really be able to target and identify how to help all of our learners the most. Going to, by the end of September, also implement our first cycle of our high-impact teaching strategies work, making sure that our administrators and our teachers are getting around into one another's classrooms, watching each other teach and talk about what's working and how we can continue to build off of the work that we're doing within our district and share those strategies that are happening in our buildings with each of our other teachers. And then also looking at boosting our early attendance and engagement, looking to identify very early on students who have 2 or more absences within that first month, and really trying to work with families to help encourage that attendance, figure out how we can support their learners to make sure that they're able to get to school and enjoy being here when they are. Questions?
Go, girl.
Touch your base real quick. This one's kind of funny. I mean, it's been there for a while, but our Payette primary sign, you might have seen it come down. I had some concerned community members. What are you guys renaming the school? We're not renaming the school. We took the sign down because it was full of bird nests. I mean, and I do mean full. So there, I mean, if you had stood in front of there for a second, you would have seen dozens of birds going back and forth. And sometimes they'd have baby birds that would fall out, and the kids would, yeah, I mean, it was a thriving aviary that we had going on our side, because they're all hollow letters in there. They took them down and they filled, I believe, with like an industrial type foam, filled the letters, and then they caulked the top so there's no space for the birds. We'll see. I mean, these are some persistent birds, but I believe we no longer have an aviary at our primary sign. So if you saw it down for a while, plus we needed to clean, pressure wash the brick that was desperately needed. SRO grant, Lori had mentioned that. It's $157,500 for 3 years. And it's a beautiful grant because it not only benefits the school district, it benefits the city. You know, we don't have to come up with the money to fund a full-time SRO. Yeah, and neither do they. So this is a grant, so it doesn't increase local taxpayer dollars. It is a grant from the state, a competitive grant that we got this year that we're very excited about. So, like I said, this helps the city's budget, offsets by 50, and we have 3 years worth of this. So we're going into year 1. So 3 more years, after this, 2 more years of funding. So that's a reason to celebrate. I mean, that's a lot of money over a short period of time. We've already talked a lot about projects around the district. You just drive around, you can see them. All the nerve-wracking, trying to close them up by, you know, school starting on Monday, and then everyone's starting on Tuesday. So yeah, we're squeaking in, But, you know, whether you win by a point or, as long as we're ready. So we should be ready. We're not running wires the first day of class, like Joe had mentioned. And then last thing is, I just want to comment on is district-wide goal. I met with our admin team this past week, and our number one goal, we have many goals in there, so academic goals built in there, but the one theme running through our entire school district is community relations. And that is building strong relationships with our parents. Building, and there's many parts to that. That's making sure grades are updated when parents look. That's communication with parents. That's parents feeling that our staff cares about their child and reflecting that in our communication. So working, we put a lot of ideas together. We had some good conversations, but that is our number one thing, having positive connections with families. And that's all of our staff district-wide. And so that, it should always be here. That is never not a theme, but it's our major, from the schools building, one of our major focuses is doing everything we can to have perfect communication and build strong relationships with our families.
I don't mean to steal any thunder, but I do want to ask.
No.
You sent a stat of some of the grants and things that we've had over the last year.
Yes.
Maybe, or is it too early to talk about that?
Oh, no, not at all. We just got approved for a foundational schools funding of it was a little over $2.1 million. And that's to redo some of our fire systems. And that's not a levy or a supplemental levy. That's not a local increase to taxpayers. That's a competitive funds from the state that they have already earmarked in an account. It is taxpayer dollars, but it's not an increase to local tax district. That $2.1 million can be used to anything really in our application that's safety related. So we have issues in our schools with fire systems that we need to update, and many different things that we can do with this money. And a lot of it will allow us to remodel our facilities and update our oldest facilities. Payette Academy, the high school, are probably the two biggest recipients just from the years they were built. There's issues that you can have with those older buildings. And so this allows us to have these buildings for many years and even clean up and modernize them quite a bit. But it's a good chunk of money to be able to do that. So a lot of that will hit the fire system we can get on as soon as we wrap up our CTE. However, a lot of the remodel stuff will go into next summer. But the funds should arrive in September. So we'll have that funding already. As far as the other grants, we added up all the money from the last 24 months of competitive grants. These aren't, we use the term grants loosely. Grants can mean federal dollars, but those are kind of more automatic funds. These are competitive grants that we wouldn't get the money otherwise. It was over $2.8 million that have been brought in through, and a lot of that's been written by Marcy Holcomb. Amanda's written some applications as well. Lori has, Steinecker has written some. I've written some. So there's several people that have jumped on and done grant writing. And so, but over $2.8 million is a nice chunk that wouldn't have come to the district without those competitive grant applications.
Pretty exciting to continue on with some of the renovations we've been doing now with this additional money to help focus on safety.
Yes.
And those two buildings would definitely get a lot of that.
They will. Yeah, they'll be the lunch ship.
That's pretty exciting. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Anything else, sir?
That's all I have.
Brings us to item number 11, which is